All right, let's dive right into the PlayStation Plus lineup for January 2026. We're going to break down this massive list of games and figure out what's actually worth your precious time and, your hard drive space.
You know that feeling, right? A dozen new games just drop out of nowhere, adding hundreds of hours to a backlog that's already out of control. It's a lot. But don't worry. This whole explainer is designed to cut right through that noise and give you a super clear, no-nonsense download list.
Okay, first things first. We're starting with the essentials, the heavy hitters. These are the games that, for just about everybody, are the absolute must-downloads this month. If you only grab a few, make it these. And here they are. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Resident Evil Village, and Core Keeper. And wow, just look at those scores. We are starting off with some serious top-tier quality. These three alone cover so much ground. First up is the undisputed heavyweight champion of January. Infinite Wealth is just massive. It's this huge, emotional, and honestly hilarious JRPG with a fantastic story that really feels like a passing of the torch for the whole series. And that 90 on Metacritic? That's not just a good score. We're talking the single highest reviewed game in the entire 20-year history of the franchise. That's a huge deal. It tells you everything you need to know about the quality here. Next, we've got Resident Evil Village. And honestly, the timing on this is perfect, landing just a month before the next big game, Resident Evil Requiem. It's a great balance, It's got the scary horror from its predecessor, but it blends it with that classic RE4-style action, which makes it way more approachable for everyone. But here's the real kicker. If you have a PSVR 2 headset, this game has a secret weapon. The VR mode is totally free, and it completely changes everything. People in the community aren't just saying it's good, they're calling it one of the best gaming experiences of their lives. Seriously. And rounding out our must-plays is Core Keeper, which might just be the sleeper hit of the month. The best way to describe it is kind of like if Minecraft and Stardew Valley had a baby. It's got this super satisfying loop of mining, crafting, and fighting bosses that you can do with up to 8 friends. So Core Keeper is a really safe bet with a fantastic start. Those first 20 or 30 hours are just pure addictive fun. You should know, though, that some players feel the late game can get a little grindy. So my advice, go in expecting an amazing 30-hour adventure and you are going to have a blast. Okay, let's get into the interesting stuff, the divisive downloads, the games that have split the community right down the middle. You're either going to love these or, well, you're going to uninstall them after an hour. And there's no better example than Need for Speed Unbound. I mean, look at this. Critics thought it was a pretty good arcade racer, gave it a 73. But the player user score? A 5.9. Whoa, when you see a gap that big, you know there's a story there. So what's the deal? It all comes down to the game's really bold art style. One side sees the graffiti effects and immediately asks, can I turn these off? But the other side loves it, saying it has this awesome Spider-Verse energy that finally gives the series a fresh identity. So here's the bottom line. Download this if you're just looking for a stylish, chaotic arcade racer, and you can put up with some, let's say, aggressive AI. But if you hate that rubber banding feel or a police system that's constantly getting in the way, you should probably just skip it. Next up is Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed. The consensus on this one is crystal clear. It's a visually stunning remake, no doubt about it, but underneath that beautiful new coat of paint, it's still a game from 2010, and the platforming, it really feels like it. This one's pretty simple. If you are a huge Disney fan who just wants to soak in the atmosphere and nostalgia, you'll probably have a great time. But if you are a platforming enthusiast looking for a modern challenge, maybe not. Oh, and a special warning for all you completionists out there. This game has permanently missable quests, and that can be an absolute deal breaker. And our final divisive game is Darkest Dungeon 2. The controversy here is a big one. The first game was this beloved management sim about slowly building up a roster of heroes. The sequel, it pretty much throws all of that out for a much more traditional run-based roguelite structure. So, the call is this. Download it if you are a diehard fan of punishing, super challenging roguelikes. But if you were a fan of the first game's slow, methodical town building, or you just have zero patience for brutal difficulty, this sequel is probably going to frustrate you. All right, time for a lightning round. We're going to blast through the rest of the list. These are the niche treats, the short experiences, and the classics. Just a quick verdict on each one. Okay, let's go. A Quiet Place is a slow, stealth game that the community has pretty much labeled subscription fodder. Expeditions is for all the SnowRunner fans out there who want that same awesome physics but in smaller, bite-sized missions. The Exit 8 is a viral indie hit. It's a brilliant, kind of creepy one-hour puzzle game, perfect for a single night. Art of Rally is a beautiful, stylish top-down racer with surprisingly deep mechanics. A little to the left is the ultimate cozy game about just organizing stuff, perfect when you need to de-stress. And finally, Ridge Racer Type 4 is a pure dose of PS1 nostalgia and a true piece of PlayStation history. And there we go, all 12 games covered. So after all that, after looking at the critic scores, the player feedback, all the pros and cons, what should your final download list actually look like? Here's our official ranking. At number 1, it has to be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The quality, the scale, the story, it's just the best overall value on the service this month. In second place, Resident Evil Village, an incredible blockbuster that becomes an absolute must-own if you have a PSVR 2. And in third, we've got Core Keeper, the best indie of the month and a phenomenal co-op game to jump into with your friends. So that's our breakdown of the PlayStation Plus lineup for January 2026. We've given you our top 3, but now I want to turn the question over to you. Looking at this whole list, what's the first game you are downloading? Let us know in the comments below.